Boom, what's up, you guys? So Ricky Lynn, American Honey, asked me to give my thoughts on Afghanistan, and I got a couple of thoughts, but I'll try to make it very succinct. First thing I would say, I guess my background, I was a 4-year infantry Marine with 3-1 Lima Company Weapons Platoon, did 2 deployments over to Iraq, fighting the dudes basically turned into ISIS, but I got hit by some IEDs and did some other fun things over there, but survived, got the t-shirt, and honestly the things I learned in that war zone have been carrying me through my life, and now I do executive protection and have a school and run large-scale training events for protectors of all walks of life. But my initial thoughts are, first and foremost, follow the money. That's always the main thing. Whenever I see somebody do something abruptly or that doesn't make sense to me, instead of assuming that they don't know what they're doing, especially if they have access to all the intelligence in the world, I can't assume that they don't know what they were doing or don't have a strategy, a master strategy. So the first thing I would tell you guys is follow the money. The second thing I would say is, I had some people on my wall when I posted and said, hey, this is really tragic. This is horrible. They were like, hey man, I think, I think it's funny that the Americans or the Western world is so upset about what's going on in Afghanistan. Let these people do what they want with their country. Let them finally be free and out from underneath American tyranny. And I'm like, well, I wish that's what this is. I wish this is that simple, but I know from experience over in Iraq, not fighting the Taliban, but fighting the same type of enemy, and from all the Marines that come back from Afghanistan, and from what we've been watching the Taliban do for decades over there, they've been fighting for, they're getting triple digits now of how long they've been fighting. It's not like this is new information. This is not like the libertarian regime that just liberated its country from American tyranny. That's not what this is. This is essentially like the strongest warlords in the area just took over your nation, your country. So I don't have any problem. I would say it like this. Imagine the way that most people would understand it. Imagine, MS-13, the Bloods, the Crips just overthrew the United States, and now their rule and their reign is what you've got to live under. Okay, that's why you see that many people in the videos running after jets, trying to literally hop on an airplane and hold on just to get out of the country, committing suicide essentially just to get out of the country, because they know what they're about to live under is not anything that's worth living under. You see, I got a video right now, I haven't posted it yet, maybe I'll post it by the time you guys see this, but you see imagine what it would take for you to just take your baby and hand it to the person in front of you so they could try to get your baby to the Marines so that your baby has a prayer at living a decent life. A prayer. It always blows my mind when you hear Americans talk about, how this nation is so this and that. And it's like, first of all, do you have a passport? If you don't have a passport, you don't get to have this conversation. You have no idea what you're talking about. Police are so corrupt. Okay, my Mexican homies are dying laughing. Now, I'm an executive protection guy, so I've been to over 60 different countries. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been to war zones multiple times. I've been around the block multiple times. This is one of the most amazing nations in the world. But what I'm seeing now, it used to be that if there was an American stranded or in a situation, we would go out and we would get them and we would send teams and we'd be America. But what I'm seeing now, with at least 10,000 Americans stranded behind enemy lines in Afghanistan for the last 72 hours, and no overt American response or statement, really. America's not acting like how America used to act, and to me what that means is this new regime change that we've had, you can forget about America covering you the way America used to cover you. If you're traveling, you get into something, good luck, okay? Even back here at home, what this says to me is those values that we pride ourselves to be Americans, because America takes care of America, you can forget about that. 10,000 is the smallest number I've heard. Americans stuck in another country. Literally what we should be hearing, what should be being said is, get out of the way America is coming to get our people. And nothing better happen to our people. That's at a minimum, not to mention all of the supporting assets from other nations and from Afghanistan. I got Marines on the phone right now trying to get people out of the country. They're good people. I can't talk about who they are, but good people that should have been taken out. This was, I don't believe it was a mistake, but it was done in a way to hurt us. You take the military out last. You don't take the protection away from your people. I don't know who's twisting this guy's arm, who's running our country, or twisting this administration's arm, who really has control to cause them to leave us uncovered behind enemy lines. But in my opinion, it's one of the biggest things that has been done to cause me to lose faith in those running this country and the government of this country to really, really, truly look out for the well-being of its people. This isn't about them liberating their nation. This isn't about anything other than the fact that a lot of innocent people are gonna die. That's what bothers me about this. A whole lot of innocent Afghanistans are gonna die. A whole lot of women are gonna be subjugated, abused, and sold into sex slavery. That's what they do. You don't need to check your sources on this. This is what they do. You, of course, go check your sources, you know what I mean? But it's like common knowledge, and anyone who's been to these war zones knows what these regimes do is they mutilate, they dismember, they make examples, and they sexually abuse and enslave the innocent and the weak. Let the warriors die. Warriors that have honor, we fight each other. But these regimes know nothing of this. They will devour. The wolves are in the sheep's pen. And we made it this way. I love my nation. I'm embarrassed by my government at this time. Byron Rogers, protector by nature and by trade. That's all I got to say about this one. Thank you for inviting me. Boom.